A heartfelt hello, listeners. I am Stacey McIntosh,
I am Mike McIntosh.
and you're listening to Raising My Dad, a podcast about the journey of two empty nesters turned caregivers. We are documenting our personal story and sharing it with the world, hoping to help some, hoping others can help us, and ultimately finding joy in the moments that matter. So, whether you are a caregiver, whether you know a caregiver, or if you ever become a caregiver, we appreciate you. So we appreciate you checking us out, and we hope you continue to listen to us and continue along with us in this journey.
Adventure.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. But so this is our first episode.
Yes, it is.
And it seems like it has taken us forever to get here.
It's taken a minute, for sure.
Absolutely. But hopefully by now, listeners have had a chance to watch our video.
If they have not seen it, we will put the link to the video in the bio for this, the description for this.
Perfect. And okay, so because this next part that we're going to talk about probably won't make sense if you haven't seen the video, can you give us a 5-second rundown on what the video is?
It's basically telling you what happened to Ray.
So you've now figured out the name of my father. It's never been.
I've known. 20 years.
Yes, but it wasn't in the video.
So yeah, that's his name. It'll be the video of where he went, a little brief description of what happened, and then his journey back home with me and Stacey.
Yeah. So, and we actually really didn't talk about our trip home in the video. So let's talk about it today.
Sure.
But if you could, right? And so there you go. Sum it up in one word. What was our trip home?
That's tough, actually. Beautiful, annoying, long. These are all separate one words.
Okay, so it counts. You're just going to add them up?
Well, they're just different answers. So
Gotcha.
That's that in a nutshell.
Gotcha. So
what do you think?
Our trip home, and I love driving and traveling with you, as you know, was exhausting.
It was that for sure.
If I had to sum it up in one
That's
word,
my fourth one.
I loved it because of what it was all about, but it was truly exhausting.
Yes.
So, yes. But let's also talk about, because in the video, everybody knows or will learn, I got out to my dad on a Friday. Well, I left on a Friday. I got to my dad on a Saturday morning. And how long did it take me before I called you and said, I can't, because my expectation was I was going to leave that following week. Tuesday, yes. And I was going to make this journey home alone.
So Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 4 days.
Tuesday.
And then I was out there on Thursday.
And our worst case scenario when I left was that it would be the following Friday that I would come home. But I was intending that I was going to do this all on my own.
Well, we were intending you being there for like a month.
Well, that was if I was still out there in a month, you were flying me home or flying out.
Correct.
So, but anyway, let's talk expectation versus reality. So I call you obviously every day and tell you everything that's going on and all the stressors, and we'll get into those eventually too. But what was your expectation flying out versus what you saw and what you heard, say, in that first night?
Expectation, I don't know, is hard because part of it's, is he on like a ventilator? Is he like all fucked up? Is he really bad? And then you get out there and it's just he had knee surgery. That's what in your head.
Right. Well, because we were getting very conflicting stories.
Yes,
there was oxygen, not oxygen, masks, not masks.
Ass?
Yeah. Sorry. Ixnay that one.
Unfortunately, there was no ass.
But anyway,
that's a different podcast. Sorry.
Right. But I mean, for the first 2 weeks of this, you and I were having conflicting stories and things that we were hearing and what we were being told. And so I know that when I got there, my expectation was pretty much that my dad, just needed some physical therapy, but he'd be able to walk out of the hospital at the end of the week.
Correct. And you went out there because we could not get any answers.
Yes, I don't think that you left me a choice, nor did I really leave you a choice.
No, I mean, I was good with it regardless.
Right. It was happening.
Yes.
Period. End of story.
That is correct. So when you got out there, though, when you started calling me, then it was more of a, holy shit,
Yeah.
He's fucked up, but not in the fucked up that I thought, which was like really bad. But he was fucked up.
Well, I mean,
sorry, I swear a lot.
Yeah, but
I should.
I mean, yeah, you shouldn't, but it happens, and it happens more than we'd like to admit. Anyway, my expectation versus reality, because I had no idea how bad it was. So when I finally got out there and saw how bad his leg was and how like so swollen and so limited and everything that had been going on that I had no clue, I was blown away. And I think I called you crying.
Multiple times.
Well, yes, but I mean, at least that first time. But anyway.
His knee reminded me of like a bag of oranges.
It was worse than that too, because I had a week with him before you got out there. So anyway, we got to talk about our actual adventure home. Yes, you do. So, so you get out there. You've never been out to
Idaho.
Well,
Washington.
Yeah, Spokane, Washington
West
is where
Coast.
you landed. And I think if you remember correctly, on the way home, I told you I do not remember any of this.
Luckily, we have some pictures and some videos.
Yes. And then we ended up getting everything prepped in 24 hours to head home.
I got there Thursday at noon.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got there, we started talking about, the only reason I went out there is because you got confirmation that he was released Thursday. Whichever. But I couldn't get out there that fast. So Friday at noon is when we got released. So we were hoping for Friday at noon, gonzo. But I got there at noon. So I mean, basically 24 hours, and we were supposed to be on the road heading down the road.
Right. So, but you had never been there, and you're like, oh, it's so beautiful.
It is. It's super pretty there.
Yep.
Remember the bridge?
No.
The bridge that's really high in the air overlooking the lake?
Oh, yeah. Now I do.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful. Okay. But anyway.
Sorry.
So you get me, big time squirrel moment. You're trying to get way ahead of where I'm even at.
It's just.
I know. So we were talking to my dad that night. You landed. He was super excited. He had a shower.
Yes, he did.
Feeling so good.
Yes, he was.
Being my dad.
That was a very good rain for him.
And you were talking to him about how you had never been out this way and how beautiful it was.
I did. That is correct.
And then at some point in time, we decided that we were going to make this an entire adventure and document everything.
Yeah. Because I told him on the way home, we have to go through Sturgis, South Dakota, Deadwood. And I've never been there. I've always wanted to go, and Sturgis, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But yeah, so we talked about all that. So yeah, we made it. We planned on that, doing all these things since make the best of it.
Right.
Yes.
And then that's all he talked about.
Yeah, he was very excited about going to Deadwood. Well, taking us to Deadwood.
Yes.
He was just there 10 years ago.
And what's the only thing I wanted to see the entire trip home?
A buffalo.
No.
Oh, yeah, moose.
I wanted to see a moose, and I never got to see moose.
No.
or buffaloes, bisons.
We didn't get to see really anything. Saw shit. I can't believe how many cows there are out there.
So many cows.
I thought Iowa was bad.
We saw the Continental Divide. That's all the rocks that we saw.
Oh, yeah.
That was day 2. So Friday at noon, we get released, which you'll see in the video. That's the day we get released. We head out to the truck. We go to get medication. This is day 1, ground zero.
Well, I think just that morning prep, I made, honestly, 11 trips to Walmart. It's like, we need this. And it's like, okay, I'll go get it.
And you were dealing with all the kids because the kids are trying to get everything ready back here, which we'll talk about that.
Kids.
Yep.
But like every time I'd go to Walmart and come back, oh, now we need this too.
Or I text you while you were there.
Yeah. But it was literally, I think by the time we end the story, it's like 11 trips.
Yeah. And what was I doing?
Packing, helping Ray, talking to him, letting him know what we're doing, planning stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Hotels.
And Scott was getting the oxygen machine.
Correct.
We'll talk about that later.
But yeah, you were doing that. I was getting everything prepped. So noon hits. That's where you see the little video, him coming down the hallway in the wheelchair, and the staff there is badass.
Oh, they are amazing.
Very nice.
And then he turned around to give a speech and they had dissipated. They had all left. And if anyone from that staff is listening, because they're in the video, and I can't remember the name of the place, like something of the Northwest, Rehabilitation Services of the Northwest.
But it's got a funky name to start.
In Post Falls,
Idaho. It's in the video.
They are amazing, and you'll see that they have become my family. Bella is my dad's favorite. And from the time I walked in and the receptionist front door lady just took me under her wing and got me permission to stay there, and they got me food. And one of the nurses at one point in time was like, here's my number, just text me so you can get back in the building, because I'd go out to call you every night after visiting hours. One of the nurses was bringing me food.
Yeah, she made you something.
Yeah, I mean, they were amazing. And they worked their butts off, because I was like, let me do all the things. You guys have other people to deal with. And they trained me, which was awesome.
Yeah. No, they were very nice. I got to see a little bit of it. And just the way they interact, they're very friendly. They act like you're almost family, how they talk to you.
And I was so scared. I was so scared to go in there.
Yeah. Well, that's because that time. Yeah. But because you're going to see him for the first time.
And because.
How was his reaction when you first saw him?
He goes, and I had a mask on because I had to wear a mask. And I probably got a hat on at this point in time because it's cold up there. I think it snowed that night or something. But he recognized me right away, and he had a grin from ear to ear as he looks up and goes, "What the hell are you doing here?" And I said, "I came to see you." And he goes, "Why?" And I said, "Because I told you that when I needed to be here, I would be here, and I needed to be here." And he goes, "Aw, that's sweet of you."
And then you stayed there with him.
And then I never left his side. I mean, brief moments, but I spent every night there except my last night. Hush. To poo. Can we cut that out? I don't poop.
There has to be a little bit of stuff.
I don't poop.
That's sad.
Right? I don't poop.
So yeah, anyways.
So we leave. We have to go get medication.
Which is at Walmart, but not the Walmart I've been to 9 times.
It's the Hayden Walmart. That's 40 minutes away.
35, 40 minutes, whatever away. We go there, and there's a line that's, we're 20th in line. I don't know what it was, but it was forever.
It took us 2 hours
to find out that they had all the medicines but one.
And you were going back and forth from our shopping list to the cart to the sections to get all the things while I waited in line.
Right.
And when we finally got up in line and we're ready to go, what do they tell us?
We have all your medications except for the one that probably would be the one to keep him alive.
His antibiotic.
Yeah, not the one to keep him alive.
But he had to have it.
But he had to have it that day.
That night.
Or that night. So we're already 45 minutes down the road because luckily this was kind of in the right direction. But we had to turn around and come back to the Walmart that I was already at 9 times to make my 11th trip to Walmart.
That took another 2 hours to get that prescription.
So we finally got on the road, all said and done at 5:30.
And I'm thinking at this point in time, I am just bawling nonstop, but trying to smile at the same time.
I was just pissed because I'm already 5.5 hours behind schedule.
And then we finally get to go.
Yeah. I think we made it 3 hours down the road. Which we got through all the mountains and stuff.
And it was beautiful.
Very, very pretty.
I've never seen it. I think I've never been there before, for sure. Like I've never gone to visit my brother before. And while it's beautiful and I love it, I have no desire to go back.
Yeah, no, I have no one. I'm good now. But it was cool. I've never seen we took a vacation a year and a half ago. We went to South Carolina.
Yeah.
I saw those mountains.
The gorge.
But other than that, I haven't. I mean, a little bit when I go out to Pennsylvania for work back in the day.
And they're huge.
They're massive.
And beautiful.
Up and down the mountains. The first couple hours is pretty crazy driving.
Uh-huh.
Like I say, the bridge, I think it's Coeur d'Alene. It's over their big ass lake.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like, I don't know, you're probably 40 feet in the air, but it seems like you're 150 feet in the air.
So I've got all the pictures, so I'll put together some sort of video picture collage and we can post it next week.
Okay. Post it, yeah, whatever.
But like, I think I kept going, oh my gosh, and I'm in the back seat. And even Dad, Ray, whatever, he's the whole time going, I don't remember that. I've never seen that before. Like he is in awe the entire time of what he's seeing.
Because he actually gets to watch instead of drive.
He's never seen it. And all he keeps talking about the entire time is the adventure that we're going on and how much fun he's having watching you drive his truck just like him and listening to me in awe in the back seat.
I drive very fast. And
I kept telling him he was the co-pilot, but he was too busy looking at everything he's never seen before.
So we get to our first stop, 3 hours-ish down the road.
And it's the hotel he wanted to stop at in the town he wanted to stop at.
I'm assuming these are his normal stops, which I think that's what he confirmed. So we get there, we check in. Luckily, we have to, you can't have one room because of all of his stuff. So you have to get adjoining rooms, and hopefully one of them is ADA.
Yep. So we had to call ahead every time.
F to find.
Uh-huh.
Which is kind of annoying, actually.
Yep.
Because I'm sure we're not the only people that have drove 2,000 miles.
But as caregivers out there, seriously, is this an ongoing issue? Because we have adjoining rooms, but we don't have an adjoining handicap room or two and I didn't even need handicap. Like we didn't need it, but we needed one of the rooms to be handicap accessible. Or like at some point in time, the calls that I made, they were on we have adjoining rooms, but they're on the third floor.
Yeah.
And as we know, my dad at this point in time can walk maybe 150 feet.
Yes.
But he has to stop 10 times.
Not all adjoining rooms have to be that. I get that. But I mean, because there's a lot of families and teenage kids and they don't want to sleep in the same room. So I get all that. But there has to be something. I mean, maybe this is just a really rare thing that happened and there's not that big of a need for it, I guess.
But I want to hear from other people. So
comment below.
Tell us things because we do want to take our dad on other things and trips and see things, but it's hard to do. I mean, he's getting better, but it's still hard to do.
Yeah, you definitely have to plan ahead.
And how do you put ADA rooms sometimes on the second floor, the furthest away from the elevator?
Yeah, that was
furthest away from the elevator.
Was that the Hard Rock?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll get to that one too.
Okay, so
we get to the hotel and now the setup.
Okay, let's not talk about that. Let's talk about that second night because at this point in time, we've gotten at least to the phone calls and everything else. And we pretty much carried in the bare minimal and crashed that night.
Yeah.
And had no idea the things that we should have had.
Correct. Which, I mean, it was a learning process.
So all we talk about is we got to get up in the morning. Let's get going at 8 o'clock.
Yep.
We both crash.
Yep.
I'm the one that's responsible for waking up in the middle of the night. And what do I not do?
I don't know.
I don't wake up in the middle of the night and we are in separate beds.
Yeah. Yeah. Because if we go to hotels, it's almost always two queens. I don't sleep in a queen with somebody.
And they won't they never have kings for us. So this is what we do.
That's a common thing.
And so you have to wake up every night as you're exhausted after driving. Anyway, we'll get to that because this is a recurring theme every single night. And so we are going to get up and leave by 8 o'clock. And Dad wakes up at 3 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning. And at 5 o'clock in the morning, he lays back down till 7 when I go get food for everybody, bring it back, wake him up. He eats breakfast and then
takes a 2-hour nap.
That first day, yes, he did.
And we didn't leave till 10.
And we left at 10.
I don't want to talk about every night because this could be.
No, I'm just giving you some little brief snippets. So we plan to leave at 8. We don't leave till 10. And we're thinking we're going to get 8 hours on the road. And we get on the road and then we have to, we know we have to stop every 2 hours because of the risk of blood clots and all these different things. But also because you have the bladder the size of a pea.
I drink
of water.
Yeah.
Not while driving.
I mean, sometimes I would.
And I'm
Drunk or not
pretty
drunk.
sure dad is awake a lot of the day, enjoying all of the conversation. And so we also then have problems sleeping at night sometimes.
Yes.
But so day 2, we do all the driving. We're trying to do all the things. Our urinal stops take like 2 hours because we don't go into gas stations. We use the urinal in the car.
I mean, not 2 hours, but realistically,
An hour.
45 minutes to an hour
So we maybe get in 6 hours of driving.
a day. Yeah.
And
That's
you're
why
trying,
it took us 4 days.
right? But I'm just saying. And then,
So 5.5 hours of actual driving a day.
yeah. Okay. So night 2, we stopped in. Well, did we make it to Deadwood night 2?
No, made it to somewhere in Wyoming.
Okay. So we're in Wyoming. Oh, was that the hotel that we had to stay on the second floor and he had to walk on the
Yes.
elevator and all the way up?
No, that's dead. No.
No, that was anyway. It doesn't matter because we are brain dead from a lack of sleep and everything else, and I'm sure that you guys understand that. But so anyway, we get in the hotel at 6, 7 o'clock. I get us dinner, and I am getting my dad upstairs, and you have to come in at the first round. Like, right, so we have to park.
Oh, yeah.
I have to go check
Getting
in.
everything in. Gotcha.
So I have to get us checked in. At this point in time, you're trying to find the perfect spot to park because we have to have a curb because we don't have a handicap sticker. Ha 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 ha. That's fun.
So first off, you have to have a curb. The whole reason for the curb is so Ray can get out.
Yep.
Because we're in his truck. He's got a 4x4. It's, so it sits up a little high.
Mm-hmm.
And he only has one leg really that works. So we have to have the curb so that way when he slides off, where he's already up 6-8 inches higher, the ground is than what he is. So that's the whole reason of the curb. So you get him out, lock the doors, get Stacey and Ray up to the room. I come back down, park the truck, and then I make my 5 trips from the truck to the hotel room, carrying everything in, setting everything up.
So we get to the hotel at 6. I go check us in. You start finding the place to park. We get Ray out of the car, walk all the way in, up all the things.
Oh yeah, second day was the place where the door didn't work. So he did have to walk that whole ass hallway. Yeah. I remember now.
And
excuse me.
Then by, if we're lucky, 7 o'clock we have food. It just depends.
Yeah.
Sometimes we just got it on the way and drove while we found a hotel. And then it's 8, 9, 10 o'clock by the time literally you are done setting everything up between the urinals, him taking a shower, the bed things, the oxygen,
everything, food, medications,
yes,
different stuff. You would literally get to the hotel about 7 and you could lay in bed about 9. Or you get to the hotel at 8 and you lay in bed about 10.
And I think
at a minimum, a good hour plus, if not 2 hours.
And then you're exhausted and you want to sleep, but you can't sleep because you're so tired and you're still listening just in case there's something happens. Yeah. And then you got woken up because I didn't wake up, and then you woke me up, and then you have a hard time going back to sleep because the lighting and everything else.
It's just how it is.
And then you do it. Okay. So now we have finally made it to Deadwood, and we are finally there. We're all excited. And we had to stay that night because we got there at night.
Super nice hotel. Super nice place. Mm-hmm.
And we wake up in the morning.
Super nice staff.
That's the staff that gave us the big wad of straws for him. They were wonderful.
Yep. And they gave me all the ice.
Yes.
Which hotels have ice, but yeah, we have to have big quantities for the coolers for everything.
I mean, everyone so far on this trip had been wonderful to us. Mm-hmm. I mean, the whole entire time, actually. And our kids are still back home setting up everything, trying to gather everything.
Talk about the kids on the...
Exactly. I just want to make a point of they're still doing all the things while we're doing all the things at the same time. And they're running around frantic with their lives and also working and all this, and kids. So we get to Deadwood. Mm-hmm. You and I are so excited to be in Deadwood. Dad is so excited that we're in Deadwood. And he remembers bits and pieces as we're driving around because he took my mom there before she passed.
And we got Marco's Pizza.
Oh, yes.
Which you and Rave never had Marco's Pizza.
That's true. So,
which actually, for
it was so good.
It's actually really good.
I didn't realize it was fast food pizza. It was actually very good. I really enjoyed it.
I don't know if they're like as big as no, they're not as big as John's Domino's.
Yeah. We don't have them around here that I know of. We do? Well, we should try it again. Go down memory lane. And so we're excited to get to Deadwood. And we realize that, Dad can't get out and walk around.
Right.
I mean, he could, but the timing and everything else. And he was like, no, I don't want to, because at this point he's already exhausted and it's 9 o'clock in the morning.
He feels like he's going to slow us down and he wants us to go enjoy it a little bit.
And I love him for that, because that just shows you how big his heart is.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get out and we literally turn around and he's smiling from ear to ear. And we're standing outside of the car and we just feel so bad.
Mm-hmm. So we go into 2 spots.
We take the 10-second tour of Deadwood.
And then we go to Sicky's, I think it's Sicky's.
Sick Boys or something. Sicky's
like
Garage.
Something like that. Motorcycle place, and get t-shirts and stuff.
We got everybody t-shirts. We got Dad t-shirts.
We got Chunky Boy something. We got K-Dog something.
Yeah. Oh, we got Dad. I got Dad a t-shirt made that said the man, the myth, the legend.
Yeah.
Grandpa. Yeah. And so he had that. So we took the 10-second tour. We went to the famous place you've always wanted to go.
Yeah, the place where Wild Bill got shot.
Yep. And we got the history on that from the place next door, which was really cool.
Which they actually moved the building, but the original building.
There's pictures and videos. I'll post those. And then we take off, and our next goal is Sturgis.
Which it's April, so obviously we're 4 months away from real Sturgis, but hey, we're in Sturgis. Stop, get a t-shirt, at least say you're in Sturgis.
And we got everybody matching t-shirts, and you and Ray got matching t-shirts. And then I know we haven't talked about getting home, but the cool part about Sturgis is my dad called me while we were in getting t-shirts, because he sat in the truck most of the time when we went in these places. And as the daughter in all of this, and I know you as the husband as well, and you've known my dad for 20 years now. And it's sad. Because you're just like, he can't, knowing my dad, he would love this and enjoy every moment of it. And he's missing out and just sitting there. And I know it's depressing for him. And so it's sad for us. And we're trying to hurry and do the things. But he calls me while we're in there, but he won't talk to me. He wants to talk to you. But he has your phone number, which I find is odd. And anyway, I'll tell you what Mike's mission was when we were there, when we finally get to getting home, because it was really sweet. And so we do Sturgis, and then our next goal is to eat.
I've never been to Wall Drug.
And we wanted to eat bison burgers.
Oh, bison burgers. Yeah.
Or buffalo burgers or whatever it was.
And he needed his 5-cent cup.
Yep. Because he traveled there when he was younger with his dad, and he always remembered that.
It all full circle 70 years later.
The entire trip home, he was telling us stories. And it was so cool because there were stories of him growing up or memories with my mom.
And we counted all the Wall Drug signs from basically Sturgis to Wall Drug.
How many were there?
It was like 80 something. No, it might actually, I think it was like 110 or something.
It was 124, if I remember correctly.
That could be.
And then we left Wall Drug, and there were more.
Yeah. And then they also have the fire trucks, I think it is.
Yes. So we
Wall Drug is cool.
And actually, he got out of the truck.
Yes, he did.
And walked around.
Sort of. We had his walker, the sit-down walker.
And I pushed him around. And he was so ecstatic with your 5-cent.
Yeah, that I got him his 5-cent cup of coffee.
And he had to drink it. And we had our bison burgers.
We got a couple little gifts for the kids.
Puzzles that he can do with each one of our kids.
Yep. And
then he got a gift for each of the grandkids. Or no.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I remember he did something somewhere, and then, okay. And then we do Wall Drug, and then our goal is to hit where? Because you used to work in
Sioux City.
But you used to work in.
Well, I wanted to stop at T because
that was the night of the
job I used to have. I used to travel to South Dakota. One of my good buddies moved up there for me. So I wanted to stop there so that way I'd actually get a chance to see him, because I don't really get to see him.
Shout out to the Gars.
Yeah.
We miss you and love you.
Big dog. Hi, Bernie.
I remember when she used to do the pound,
dog pound.
Yeah, or something like that.
Her and Gar.
Yeah. Anyway, I digress.
But so we wanted to stop there because then there's squealers right there in the parking lot, basically. And I could ask.
And what happened? Nobody had rooms.
Well, so I was talking to Gar today. I couldn't remember what was going on because we even tried Sioux Falls.
And we couldn't get in there.
Yeah.
There was some sort of convention.
I think that was the Deadwood one. I think Gar said he thought there might have been a concert.
Oh, I don't know, but everything was booked, and they said something about different. There was an event and something else, and a convention maybe going on.
So he drove another hour and a half to get to Sioux City.
Sewer City.
Sewer City. Yeah, sucks. Stayed at the Hard Rock.
And the Hard Rock was our first time you ever bit your tongue.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't even remember
Do we
what
want to
happened.
talk about that?
Well, yeah, you can, but I don't even remember what happened.
We were just getting out, and he snapped at you, and I'm pretty nice. I normally don't get too angry, but if somebody snaps at my wife or is disrespectful to my wife, I will get angry. But I bit my tongue. I didn't say nothing.
Because you understand.
You do, but at the same time, it just he snapped, and I immediately wanted to snap back, and I didn't. So regardless, it doesn't matter. So we get there, and that one sucked too because the elevator was slow. We were on the fourth floor, and you had to make the whole U shape
because it's at a casino.
Yeah,
it was very cool. Like you walk in, and it's Prince. Like, if it was me and you,
we've been there before.
Well, I know we've been there before, but I mean to stay there. You and I didn't stay there. Like if it was me and you, that would have been awesome because we also wanted to go to the restaurant that we love. What was that called?
I don't.
And we couldn't even go there because
can't.
Yeah,
it'd be too hard.
So I think we ended up doing what for dinner that night? Pizza?
Nope. Hold on. Is it like Jimmy John's or?
Did we do Subway? And I took it back to the room?
Yes, we did.
Yep.
It was Subway. I know it was a sandwich place.
Yeah.
We stopped and grabbed that just outside of Sioux City when you're still in Sioux Falls.
Yep.
Or not Sioux Falls, but South Dakota. Excuse me.
Yeah. So, and then the next day we wake up and we head home.
We actually got a good start. I think we left at 9.
Yep.
Because we were home by 3:30.
And I drove.
You drove from Des Moines home. So the last 2.5 hours.
Because your poor feet.
I was so tired. I was done. I made it 20 hours on the road. And I was done. My feet hurt. My back hurt. My hands hurt.
And that was when Dad decided that it would be a good time to be the dad and tell me how to drive.
Yes.
The entire time, he never told you one time how to drive.
He told me how much he liked my driving 38 times.
And I got in the car and started driving, and he started telling me how to drive.
Driving a little fast, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You might want to slow down through here.
She never went as fast as I would drive.
And then I was trying to get around people and something, and
he's just being a dad. It's all good.
No, I know, but it's so funny because he never, not one time to you. So it just makes me giggle.
Never once.
I never saw buffalo.
But that's okay. But the whole time we were driving, our kids
were setting everything up and doing all the things. But I say we can talk about that another time, or we can talk about that now. That's whatever you want to do.
How far are we in?
33 minutes.
How about we get home? So we make it home.
Yeah.
Our friends Casey and Jake are here. Mm-hmm. The kids are not here, but they have stuff set up. And I think we end it here, and then we'll pick back up telling them what happened, what the kids were doing, and who was here, Casey and Jake, what they hoped as well.
Yeah. So, when is our next?
This one will be out hopefully Wednesday.
That's tomorrow.
Just
the holiday threw you off, didn't it?
No. Today is the 30th, so hopefully we have this out tomorrow. We promised one would be out 31st, so that's what we're shooting for.
And so eventually you'll know.
They want to be weekly on Wednesdays.
Yep, and eventually you'll know why it has taken us, because this weekend.
Yeah. So yeah, we can get.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So, where can people find us on Wednesdays? Where can they find us in between then if they want to learn more? If they want to,
we'll have all the links to our social medias in the description of the podcast. If you haven't seen the video on Facebook, go check it out. There's also a YouTube page. It has the same video for now. We'll be uploading more videos to that. We'll also be switching to video podcast. With everything going on, I'm also rearranging my game room, so nothing's really set up yet.
We are all displaced in so many different ways. It's pretty fun.
Well, we were halfway through 5 projects when all this happened, so now it's try to get everything put together quick.
Well, and we're displaced.
Yeah.
What we had, we no longer have, and we're changing everything around in our house right now. So, and it's part of it. And I'm sure people understand
We'll
that.
get into that in the next episode too.
But if people want to watch our video, they need to find it on Facebook under Raising My Dad or YouTube. It's everything is, yep.
All the icons look the same, so it's easy to find.
I made them.
Yeah, it's all good.
And just in case people kind of are curious, when my dad was in his rehabilitation services center, him and I would fist bump every time he would have an accomplishment. So, and I'm sure we'll talk about it more, but you know, when I got there, he would scream in pain and could hardly even walk. And so by the time I left, we were getting him in and out of the truck. But anytime he's had an accomplishment from that first day I got there until even just today, this evening, we fist bump every time something different happens and everything cool happens. And so
we should be in Portugal.
We should be in Portugal. Alice and Julian, we love you so much. And we so wish we were there.
We'll talk about that in the next episode too.
Yeah, we got a lot of shout outs. But anyway, I think we're going to close it there. And in the meantime, and until you hear us again and see all of our videos and everything else, be kind to each other. And remember to tell someone you love them. You never know.
Check in with your family members.
Always check in with your family.
Have a good day.